Good day, everyone. This is Kevin Alft, CEO of Actually Coach Texas, Actually Coach of DFW. Today, we're honored to have Steve Heroux with us with Sales Collective. Steve's going to share with us both best practices and lessons learned from his years of building businesses, and also as he's gone out and spoken with thousands and thousands of business owners as well. Steve, thank you for pouring into the business community. Give us a little runway on you and your business.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you having me. What's up, everybody listening, watching? My name's Steve Heroux, founder, CEO of the Sales Collective. And it's funny, I get that question a lot. Kevin, we were just talking about speaking and the Vistage world and all these other things. And they're like, well, what do what's your business about? What do you talk about? What's the gist? And my answer is always, I try to undo, 95% of what people have been taught about sales and sales leadership. So in essence, we try to do that. Helping companies just reimagine, transform the way that they sell through culture, recognition, and so on, other than fear and, magic quotas. So that's the gist, man.
Awesome. Very good. Sales is one of the big mysteries out there, just like marketing. Marketing and sales are both mysteries to many business owners.
Yes. I just got off a call an hour and 10 minutes with our marketing teams. We got 3 different marketing agencies, advisors we work with, and that is a very unique skill set. We're so thankful we found them, but marketing is not sales and sales is not marketing. And we see this in a lot of small businesses and companies think, well, oh, I'll just have a head of sales and marketing. Well, no, you don't have a CFO/CIO. They are completely different entities. And so that expertise level is unrelated to one. They work together like brother and sister, but 2 completely different functions. So learn that too late in life, but we're getting the hang of it now.
Yeah, that's so many folks say sales and marketing. It's not sales and marketing.
No.
At all. Like you said, the skill sets they're integrated and they're definitely distinctively different.
Yeah, they need to talk. They need to work together. And one of the things that it's surprising, but maybe we'll dive into processes in a second. But roughly 8 out of 9 companies don't have a sales process. Okay, I mean, don't have one. So if you have great lead gen or marketing or branding, and you then drive those interested folks into the hands of your salespeople who have no idea what to do with them, you start to, well, maybe marketing's not working and maybe we'll change. No, marketing's fine. It's the salespeople that are messing it up. And another crazy stat, 2/3 of all sales are blown by the salesperson. So if you're listening and you're spending a ton of dough to get people in the door on your website, whatever you call it, lead magnet, 2/3 of the time, interested people talk to a salesperson and they are now no longer interested. Kind of the opposite of what salespeople are supposed to do. But that's a real thing, and that's what's happening right now.
It's real and it's very unfortunate.
Yeah. And a lot of reasons why. I'm sure we'll get into that, but you got to have both. People got to know who you are, kind of important, and you have to be able to eloquently state what you do. And if you can't, it's going to be very difficult.
Amen to that. So as you look at what the Sales Collective does, what makes you unique? Steve, what makes your business unique?
We take a different approach to training, coaching, development. There's a million sales trainer companies, sales training methodologies, whatever. And the best example I can give you, we were just talking about golf a little bit. And some of you know golf, so you'll get this. The holy grail for just a weekend golfer is to break 100. Okay, I broke 100. It took me 30 years. Great. The next one's breaking 80. Okay, and for those of you that don't know golf, it's shooting a score of 79 or lower, right? 1 round. Then it's break par. Okay, I shot 1 under par. I shot 70 or 69. But for pro golfers, the holy grail is 59. Okay. And in the millions of rounds that have been played on the PGA Tour, only 11 times has a golfer shot 59. One golfer shot 58. One breathing human. Do you know who it is?
I do not. I would guess it's
Most,
been Tiger, but
yeah, most people go, it's got to be Tiger, Jack, Arnie. Nope, it's Jim Furyk. So I don't know if you're familiar with that name, Kevin.
no.
And if y'all don't know Jim Furyk, Furyk, just look up Jim Furyk's golf swing. Um, David Faraday is a golf announcer, and he said that Jim Furyk's golf swing is about as graceful as watching an octopus fall out of a tree. It's horrendous. And that's what he's known for, but not for shooting the best all-time round in the history of the PGA Tour. Oh, and by the way, one guy shot 58. It's Jim Furyk. Guess who also shot a 59? Jim Furyk. One guy shot 58. 10 other guys shot 59. He's done it both. But there's not one single golfer standing on this planet who swings like Jim Furyk. And the problem is that only one guy can swing like Jim Furyk, and that's Jim. And what all sales training has done for the past 100 years is teaching this magic swing and telling everybody, oh, you just have to swing like Jim. No, you don't, and you can't. This is why, generic selling systems and methodologies do not work. And what companies do, which is even worse, is they do something called a ride along, right? Where you send a new sales rep, out in the field with Jennifer. You go, oh, just follow Jennifer, do everything she. No, they're not Jennifer. And this is what's happened to salespeople for the last century. And it's as if we went golfing with Jim Furyk and our golf coach said, hey, just do what Jim does. No, you can't. So what we do is quite different. What we do is teach people how to swing like themselves. And the only way to do that is by understanding what lives in their sales DNA. And so that's really our differentiator. We have a tool and assessment that most people have taken assessments, in your lives. I'm sure you guys use them. There's a million of them, but none of them have anything to do with sales. The one we use does. 34 years of data, 2.5 million people have taken it. It's 92% predictive of success. So we understand what lives in someone's sales DNA, what their hindrances are. Then we build custom learning paths, custom swings to help improve those salespeople's success in selling. Just like you golfers, if you're serious, you don't buy clubs off the rack. You get your clubs custom fitted, height, shaft, lie angle, all of that. If sales training were like golf, there'd be one set of clubs for everybody. That's not how it works. So that's why I think we're different than what I've seen out there in the marketplace.
Definitely. So, if you had to start your business from square one, what would you do differently, Steve? What would you do differently?
In my world, LinkedIn, like with us, right, is really important. And I just probably didn't utilize it in the right way. I mentioned some of those marketing folks we're working with now that have really completely just transformed the way that we post and what we do. And there's so much that changes in it. It's like the weather, right? One day LinkedIn algorithm works like this, the next day it works like that. And I would have spent time learning those things earlier on in my career. In terms of strategy wise, and I think this is one of the things that one of the very few things I'm marginally adequate at, along with fishing, is making introductions for people. I think this is it's just a lost art. People all want referrals, right? Well, it doesn't work that way. Just remember reciprocity. So give, then give some more with no expectation of getting anything in return. So I think that's one thing I would have doubled down on even more than I have in my background and what I did before, but some of y'all, if we get to it, you'll laugh when I tell you my first sales job. So that'd be one of them.
So curious, what was your first sales job?
Um, well, I didn't speak for the first 17 years of my life. And so then I got to college and it was ridiculously expensive, had to help my parents pay. So I was going to take any job and I answered a job ad and it said customer service. So I'm like, all right, I'll sit on the phone and, so they trick me into going in for the interview. It ended up being Cutco knives. So some of y'all know what Cutco knives, Kevin, you see them at the state fair. They got 5 booths. So that was freshman year of college. And, I was forbid to do it by my dad, who's a truck driver and, not a sales guy. And 4 years later, senior year was #1 in the country, selling Cutco knives. So from a kid that didn't speak. So y'all are listening, you can learn. Trust me, you don't have to be born to sell, right? I was a mime for 17 years of my life. So yeah, that was #1.
Quite the accomplishment, Steve.
Yeah.
Um, you've got staff. What have been your biggest learnings as an employer?
Another one I wish I would have done is hire CFO earlier. Again, not every company, again, when you're growing, as you have to be CEO, HR, director of services, implementation. So as you start to grow, you really do have to pay attention to the finances. And there's so many great companies out there, so many. We had fractional, by the way, CFO, for almost 3 years, right? So we've been in business about 4. But from the beginning, I knew like the money thing wasn't my purview, just like we're talking about sales and marketing, 2 completely different things. So really taking ownership. And actually, it's funny, this morning, I saw a clip from JJ Redick, who's a former Duke, basketball superstar, played the NBA 12 years. And he said he never forgets a backup center when he first got in the league told him, you have to take responsible for your finances. You cannot outsource that to some advisor and you don't know what's going on. So for people earlier on in their business careers, that is #1. Know where the money's going, know what you're doing with it, know what your ROI is on what you spend, and really keep an eye on that. But I think that's a really important lesson. I wish I'd have learned a little bit earlier.
Yeah, we've got 7 pillars in terms of all we teach clients. Pillar #4, it's accounting, finance, KPIs, management systems, because those you got to have all of that in place. Got to have those optics to understand what's going on.
Wait till I share with you what DPIs are.
So go ahead.
We get to that.
Yeah. What do you have?
So KPIs, we all know what they are, and however people define them really is what matters. But unfortunately, most companies define their KPIs using lagging indicators, which you can't do. It's the leading indicators that matter, not lagging. So when people have the wrong KPIs, it's not really the acronym, but they're looking at the wrong things. And so the best analogy I can give you for this one is baseball. How do you win baseball games, Kevin? What's the KPI?
Ultimately, you got to look at runs on the board.
Okay, that's the KPI. But you can't tell your team, hey, score more today, guys, right? Which is what companies do to their salespeople. So how do you get the runs?
Exactly.
Well, you got to get on base. Well, how do you get on base? Quality at bats. So we teach what's called DPIs, which are daily performance indicators, i.e. a quality at bat. I want my team, right? If I'm coach, my kids, I want them executing quality at bat over quality at bat. That will lead to more kids on base, therefore more runs. But that's not what's taught in 95% of the companies we see. but that's what we teach. And every company that's put in DPI, sales have gone up. We don't know by how much. We could never say, oh, you'll get 20%. No. But if you focus on quality at bats and you teach the kids how to execute those, which is the purpose of a coach, i.e., a sales manager, that is their job. The sales manager's job is to make sure that his or her salespeople are executing quality at bats. That's why role play is so critical. And most companies don't do that either. So they just yell at their teams when they're not scoring and go, score more. How? Well, you this game last year and this quarter we scored 6 runs, so this year it's got to be 6.3. What are you talking about? Well, we just added 8%, so what? And we can't seem to figure out why salespeople don't like what they do.
It's interesting, in our business background questionnaire, we ask business owners, this is early in the engagement process, what percent sales growth do you expect to get? Then how do you plan to achieve it? And so many times the answer is tell the salespeople to sell more.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's like, all right, have you tried that past? Yes, every year. Has it worked? No. Why? Got bad salespeople. Back to your point, do you have a sales process? No. Do you have a sales plan? No. Do you have sales scripts? No. It's like, all right, how about we get some of those things in place? And then, like you say, the KP, the leading indicator.
We call them DPIs. Yeah.
Yeah. So, on our side, KPAs, key performance activities. What are the activities?
Oh, yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So KPAs, KPRs, cause and effect, because the KPI piece was too confusing and the owners and the clients weren't getting it. I mean, the owners and their team members weren't getting it. So, yeah. And I like the daily piece. One of our newer clients here, a DFW firm, their team members just reporting the numbers once a week for sales. It's like, you cannot do that. It's got to be every day. They got to report the results every day. So thanks, Steve, for reinforcing that. And those who are listening, implement that today.
Yeah.
Daily performance indicators for your sales staff and marketing as well. Marketing and sales. You got to have that.
We're around, I'm in a different city every week, right? I was mentioning, right, where I speak, and we've had so many CEOs, owners, they put DPIs into the plant, they put them into procurement, they put them into AR, every aspect of their business. But it's, if you think about like a to-do list, for example, or even New Year's resolutions, since we're just past that and everybody's already given up. People will put, 9 things, right, on their New Year's resolution. They're not going to do one of them. So when you have more stuff to do, even if you put 9 and you accomplished 8, your brain tells you you failed. The end of story. So what you have to do every day, and what you don't have to do it, but if you want your salespeople feeling good, and your family kind of matters, at least to most people, you don't want people coming home miserable. So how do you get people coming home feeling good? We, I guess, gamified it, you could say. We built this thing called Daily 100, which is basically points. So they're custom for but you do these daily activities and they add up to a certain amount of points. And as long as people get their 100 points, they feel great at the end of the day. Their families get to have dad or mom feeling good. When they come into work the next day, they're feeling good because they got their 100 points. And the points are the activities. So whatever dials, thank you notes, written, LinkedIn activity, I role played, whatever it is. And every time we put them in, the company's like, what happened? What'd you do? I'm like, made people happy. I don't know. Maybe that something to do with it. So, yes, it's just a different way, but the clients we have love it. And the clients that think I'm nuts stay where they're at. So, it's all good.
So curious, is it a weighted point meeting, or some are higher, some activities are worth more than others? Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
It's very powerful.
Like if you're doing outbound dials or, whatever, right? You're a standard outside sales rep. That's 1 point per dial, right? But it doesn't matter how many appointments you set. You're not in control of that. They are. You're in control of picking up the phone.
The
Um,
activity.
correct. How many, lunch meetings in a week, that could be one. One of the ones we really, really hit home on is 15 minutes of training. Um, the average person spends 2 hours a day on social media. So a salesperson has 15 minutes. So did you do your 15 minutes, whatever it is? Did you role play? Did you enter in the info into your CRM? By the way, that's 10 points for most of our clients. So 10% of your daily activity is entering the info into your CRM. And most salespeople don't do it, which is insane because they have no idea what to talk about, right? When they call their people back. So, but this is all, again, it's systems and processes. And these people were never taught any of this from the beginning. So why would you expect them to do it later? Right? This is not how it works. But again, it's a different way of doing things, but seems to be working okay.
Working well. Again, I applaud you for bringing it up, and that is such an important piece. Again, daily performance indicators for both marketing and sales. So when it comes to balancing your personal life, Steve, what can you share with the owners watching today? How you balance your personal life and the demands of running a business?
This one, it's funny you asked this. I don't think it's related to my highest performing LinkedIn post from last week, which we were just talking about this of rewriting the way we post, but the high and we have no idea what's going to resonate with people. Just like people who there's a lot of fake gurus out there. Y'all know who I'm talking about, but oh, we'll build you a viral video. No, you don't know what's going to go viral. So I had no idea that this post would get the amount of comments it did. There's 160 shares. 160 shares, not even comments, not even likes, shares. And it was about you take a break when your battery level is here, not here. You take breaks when your battery's almost full, not almost empty. And most business owners, salespeople cannot comprehend this concept of taking a break. So you can't be at your best if you do not take breaks. You have to take breaks. This is not a you should. You have to for your brain, your physical health, your family. But most business, it's like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and I go 12 hours. I don't even take a lunch or I taught this in one of my in some of our training content about how, and some of y'all are going to hear this and look down and go, oh my God, your desk is dirtier than your toilet seat. So keep eating at your desk. Be my guest, everybody. Don't eat at your desk. Get up, go walk around, go do something. It is not healthy for you to just sit in one place for 8 hours. It's not good. So mix in 5-minute walk, 10 minutes, do some jumping jacks, whatever. Go read, right? Go watch your favorite, sitcom, whatever. Just take breaks. It's okay. You're not weak if you take breaks. You're mentally strong if you take breaks.
Well said. Keep the engine running hot, keep it running at peak performance, not let it drain way down, then expect it to come back up. Bad expectation on your being. So last question for today is, as you got staff, what qualities do you look for in the employees that you hire, Steve?
Honesty, integrity, humility, top 3. Transparency is my biggest requirement from myself. We work with CEOs right all over, thousands of them. And, in leadership, and there's a million books and y'all know them, but everyone has what they think is the most important leadership trait, vulnerability, empathy, right? Visionary, those types of things. But for me, it's transparency. If your team can't come to you and share their ideas and thoughts openly, like how are you going to grow a business? And secondly, they won't come to you if they don't trust you and you're not transparent. We already got a million examples, right, of CEOs who just don't get it, right? The Kellogg's guy who is telling people you should eat cereal for dinner, like the better.com guy who fired 900 people over Zoom, like you just don't get it. So you have to be trustworthy and transparent. And if you're not, you think your people are going to run through brick walls? I mean, the guy you said, we just tell them to sell more, like McFly, anybody hope you, they don't care about you, dude. Don't you get it? Like salespeople care about themselves and their families. And if you did it right, they'll care about your company. But if they know you don't care, you can't seem to figure out why the salespeople aren't good. Like it's just kind of funny, man. Many people have mirrors in their houses. They just refuse, right, to look into them. So yeah, that's what we look for.
Well, Steve, thank you. Those
Thank you.
attributes, those character qualities are core.
Yes, sir. People spend more time, Kevin, stenciling their core values on their conference room than actually living them and putting them into practice. So we're pretty focused on those when we work with clients, and it's not magic scripts or selling systems, right? It's that type of stuff.
Amen. So
Yes,
as business owners desire to reach out, how do they best get in touch with you and your organization?
LinkedIn's probably the easiest. You can obviously go to the website, right? thesalescollective.com. But I love LinkedIn because we really try to put a lot of content out there. It's really helpful for people. And if y'all want to reach out again, it's Steve Heroux, Heroux. But this has been great. And I just love, being able to have this platform to share my crazy ideas. And it's okay. There's plenty of room for those of us who all think each other's crazy and, who wants to be normal anyway. So thanks.
Well, one of the things I teach folks is if you do the ordinary, you're going to end up with the ordinary. If you want to have extraordinary, you got to do the extraordinary.
Yes,
Got to be
sir.
crazy at times.
Yes, sir.
So appreciate you, Steve. Really,
Okay,
really
thanks,
appreciate it.
Kevin.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks, everybody.